This may sound like healing must be completed before any relationship exists, which isn't always realistic. People can heal inside relationships too. A good woman should not become collateral damage in someone else's unfinished healing. One of the hardest truths to talk about is that good women are often grouped together with the women who hurt someone before them. There are women who manipulate, use, exploit, and treat relationships as transactions. Those experiences can leave real damage behind. But what happens too often is that instead of healing from those experiences, some men begin to build their entire understanding of women around them. The anger stays, the distrust stays, the bitterness stays. And then the decent woman enters the picture. She may be kind, she may be emotionally available, financially stable, she may carry herself with dignity, work hard, communicate clearly, and show consistency. Yet somehow she still receives the consequences of wounds she did not create. She becomes the target of suspicion, the receiver of indirect disrespect, the subject of jokes that are not really jokes. She receives the emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, and physical abuse. The good woman is expected to prove she is not like the others. Every disagreement becomes evidence. Every similarity becomes confirmation. Every human flaw becomes a reminder of someone else. But underneath that reaction is often a question that remains unanswered. Why was that type of woman chosen repeatedly? What patterns were overlooked? What boundaries were missing? What pain was ignored? What healing never happened? Because if an unhealed man continues to focus on women they describe as manipulative, indecent, selfish, or destructive, eventually there has to be a deeper conversation, not only about who hurt them, but why those patterns keep feeling familiar. Healing is not pretending bad experiences never happened. Healing is refusing to make new people pay old debts. A woman should not have to serve a sentence for a relationship she was never part of. And while no one owes perfection, everyone owes themselves enough self-reflection to ask, am I responding to who this person actually is, or am I responding to someone I never truly let go of? Good women do exist, not perfect women, not women with flaws, but women who deserve to be seen as individuals rather than echoes of someone else's pain. Unhealed men continue to focus on what they consider indecent instead of focus on what is decent. Then the facade begins with private intimacy and public distance, and the emotional cost of being hidden while still being expected to act like a loving and supportive partner. Or every flaw is a social media post instead of a trip to therapy. I'm not necessarily saying all men who are private are unhealthy. Some people are naturally private, but I'm describing something more specific. The unhealed men who seek closeness behind closed doors while maintaining the appearance of being emotionally or romantically available to everyone else on social media, and how confusing and painful that can feel for the good woman involved. There is a difference between privacy and concealment. Privacy says, this relationship is precious to me, and I want to protect it. Concealment says, I want the benefits of closeness without the responsibility of being associated with it. Some unhealed men who have been deeply hurt become experts at emotional risk management. In private, they are affectionate, sensitive, present, they speak softly, they create intimacy. But in public, they become unavailable. They keep doors open, still dating or cheating, keep options visible, but asking for monogamy from the good woman. Keep appearances that suggest they are unattached, still searching, still shopping, still free. Meanwhile, portraying as the victim of broken, manipulative women while moving from woman to woman, unhealed and constantly complaining. Sometimes this may come from fear of embarrassment, fear of vulnerability, fear of choosing wrong again, fear of publicly claiming someone and later feeling regret or loss. But fear does not erase impact. Because on the other side of that dynamic may be a good woman trying to understand why she receives tenderness in private and distance in public. She becomes the unhealed man's next victim. She starts questioning herself. Am I not enough? Am I not worthy of being acknowledged? Why am I being treated like something to experience, but not something to stand beside? And when the relationship eventually breaks down, the story can become distorted. The same woman who accepted limited visibility may suddenly be described as demanding. The same woman who asked for consistency may be described as difficult. The same woman who asked for reassurance may become the reason things ended, when in reality, she may have simply wanted what most people want, to be cared for with the same energy in public that was offered in private. Healing is not learning how to hide people better or jumping from person to person. Healing is learning how to choose differently, trust wisely, and stop making innocent people carry the consequences of old disappointments. That is the difference between being protected and being hidden. Not only are good women being treated like bad women, but also the cost of unresolved hurt, how pain can spread from one relationship into the next until someone decides to interrupt it. Sometimes an unhealed man who was wounded becomes so focused on protecting themselves that they stop noticing when they're causing the very pain they once hated. Sometimes the deepest tragedy is not that someone was hurt. It is that they never realized they became someone who hurt others. A decent woman can enter a relationship whole, open, patient, willing, believing she is meeting a person and not a battlefield. But if she is met with unresolved anger, suspicion, emotional distance, comparisons to people she has never met, punishment for mistakes she never made, and walls she did not build, eventually something changes, not because she became bad, but because being misunderstood for too long changes how a person experiences love. She starts questioning her softness, questioning her patience, questioning whether being understanding simply means accepting less. And what makes it painful is that the man hurting her may not even see it, because in their mind, they are surviving, protecting themselves, staying guarded, avoiding being used again. Meanwhile, the woman standing in front of them is carrying the cost. Over time, she may begin asking difficult questions. Do I stay and hope healing comes? Do I wait for someone to become aware? Do I continue giving time to someone who says they want love but treats love like a threat? Or do I accept that wanting connection and being ready for connection are not always the same thing? Because wanting a relationship is not the same as being prepared for one. And if an unhealed man continues changing partners while carrying the same unexamined beliefs, the faces may change, but the experience often repeats. Eventually, there comes a moment where an unhealed man with these patterns must ask, are all women the problem? Or have I been carrying old pain into new rooms? A good woman can be forgiving, but forgiveness does not automatically mean access. It does not always mean waiting, and it does not require sacrificing herself while someone decides whether they want to heal. Sometimes love is staying. Sometimes love is stepping back and allowing people to meet themselves. He wanted a good woman, but he never asked whether he had become safe for one.